All right, guys. So this is our third Olympic lifting competition of the year, and we'll start with me. As you notice, I am still power snatching in competition, um, and we'll go into why as we see, after the attempts. But the cool thing here is that I got all of my snatches, and they all went pretty damn well. And the most I've ever done in training is 85. So right here, I'm hitting a 1 kg PB, which I was pretty happy about, and yeah, still power snatching it. So I've got a lot of strength reserve really, and just needing to keep improving my technique. Clean and jerks also went really well. In fact, I went 6 for 6, and the most I've done in competition on a snatch was 79 before this, and the most I'd done on a clean and jerk before this competition was 105. So awesome for me in that I opened up with PBs on my first attempts on both. The clean and jerks were feeling really good today, and as you guys probably have been able to tell, that I am just so much stronger, and then my technique is here as well, so I can pretty easily power clean a lot more than I can jerk. But this was the first time I actually felt the need to do, on this attempt right here, a more or less full clean, just to make sure I could get under it as we got up to about 114 kg. And my jerk is getting better and better. Still need to work on my shoulder and elbow mobility and all of that. But so it was a great meet for me. I got a 16 kilo PB. Barb had a rough start, and I think it really got in her head. She's opening up here with a lift that she always gets in the gym. That's probably the first time I've seen her miss a 33 snatch in a long time, and that kind of got in her head and rattled her a little bit. But she got it here, which is 1 kilo less than she's got in competition before, um, and good snatch. Great job just hanging out in the hole like that. I always envy her mobility, but I think it was just not her day as far as snatches. Her technique just wasn't as cute and as she normally likes it to be. So she wasn't too happy about that. But she did a great job of turning around her perspective and kind of just starting over with her clean and jerks, as you can see here. Um, so she's done a 40, I want to say 46 or 45 in comp, maybe a 47 in comp before. I forget. I think it's 45. So she opened up with a PB or near a PB in competition, and her clean and jerks were just looking really good today. Um, so real proud of her, and mostly proud of just kind of the mental struggle of coming back from only going 1 for 3 on her snatches. So right here, this is the most she's done in competition, and by getting this lift, it put her with a PB total of 2 kgs, which is just awesome. Anytime you improve your total is something to be happy about. So great, awesome full depth cleans. She's getting much better being tight as she comes out of the hole of the clean recovery, and her jerks are just getting much more snappy. And that was one of the better clean and jerks I've ever seen her do. And then 51, I think, was just a little too heavy for her. Wasn't the best jerk drive, but as you can see here, she did a great job on the clean, and then just couldn't quite lock it out. So we're still very much novices, but we're improving quickly. So I would say overall a good meet. Barb wasn't 100% happy with it, but you can't. We both had a very different performance. I went 6 for 6. She went 3 for 6. So it was just not the best day for her, but still a PB, which is something to say. So I wanted to get more into what is our training looking like, or at least my training. And because she does 1 extra day per week, she has a little more time in her life because I'm doing my master's thesis. But basically, I'm training 4 days a week. And this is kind of just an example of what one of my days would look like. And I'm balancing powerlifting, Olympic lifting, and bodybuilding. So, if I was to go through a Olympic lifting comp preparation, you'd see that one of those benches disappear, the clean and jerk get earlier. And if I was going through powerlifting, that snatch on Friday would come after my low bar squats. And obviously, if I was doing bodybuilding, it'd be very differently structured. But right now, this is kind of the approach I'm using. So all that said, here's some of the actual what that looks like when I train. And these are me doing some full snatch attempts. And you can see that I'm just not nearly as consistent in the hole with the balance. I mean, I think I have plenty of strength to do a full snatch with 80 like I'm doing here, and the positioning looks right, but I just have so much tightness in my anterior capsule and difficulty with shoulder mobility in the hole that I tend to lose them forward. And this is about the deepest I can get and be consistent on a snatch. That's 85, and you're hitting it basically a low power snatch. But that for me is the closest it gets to a good full snatch. And that's why I power snatch in competition. So now we're just going to look at some of these accessory movements I do. If you would pause it on my training organization, you see a big long list of different things that might fill the slots of Olympic lifting accessories and hypertrophy accessories. And this is a face pull, basically working on external rotation and scapular retraction, and also training rear delts, traps, rhomboids. And a great movement just for shoulder health with all of the other stuff I'm doing, pushing vertically, benching, and lots of upper trap dominant movements. This is an Olympic lifting kind of / hypertrophy. So it's a sports-specific hypertrophy complex. I'm doing 3 muscle snatches here, 3 overhead squats, and then I'm doing 3 behind the neck push presses with 50 kilos. So this is the type of thing that kind of bridges the gap between getting the volume I need for growing, and also making it specific to some of the stuff you'll need to be successful in Olympic lifting. This is another one of those where I'm starting with 3 strict overhead presses, and then I'm going to move to 3 push presses, and then I'm going to finish up with 3 jerks. So it's a decent amount of volume on just overhead pressing. So focusing on the delts, and once again also making me hopefully getting more experience and repetition with the Olympic lifts, which the reason why my workouts take sometimes 3 hours on these days is because it's not so much just about working out, quote unquote, but it's about improving technique, which is a very difficult thing to do and takes a lot of time and a lot of practice. And the next one, this is a bodybuilding complex that I do. So this is me basically working hypertrophy work. And the reason why so many of my lifts I'm shirtless is because sometimes we'll keep the AC off and it gets very hot in there, and I just don't feel like totally drenching a shirt. And also the half natty lighting right here is awesome. So yeah, multiple reasons, both equally important. But anyway, here I'm doing 5 reps on curls, 5 reps on barbell rows, and then 5 reps on strict presses. And I would do normally 3-4 sets of each one of these things. So we're getting a total amount of reps of anywhere from 12 to 20 on each movement, or on that pressing one you saw a good amount. So now we've got that race to 500 pounds that myself, Berto, and Jeff are in the middle of. And at the end of last month, I attempted 220. I was feeling really good. We had just finished that Olympic lifting meet, and the week afterwards, Adam wanted to test our powerlifting maxes, because now we're getting pretty much into full-on powerlifting mode. So this is me walking out 220. I was feeling really good today, and this is 485 pounds for those of you who aren't familiar with kilos. And I do low bar squat to meet depth, and as long as I can keep my hips underneath me, keep my air in, and really get my positioning down and keep that bar path where I want to be, I know I can grind through some big lifts. And I felt so good about it that I actually went for 222.5, which is a huge PR for me. Having the most I've done before this being about 474. So this is like a 15-pound PR for me, from just about 6 or 8 weeks ago. So I have to say that with the help of Adam, I've got a really good program right now. I'm just really starting to get a feel for how to balance, my 3 different goals of, strength and powerlifting, strength and Olympic lifting, and also, hypertrophy for bodybuilding. So it's all going well, and watch out, Jeff, watch out, Berto. That 500 is not far away. All right, guys, talk to you next time.